Today's guest that I have on the show, he has been a guitar player in Helloween now for over 22 years. He has written over 30 songs with the band. And of course, just celebrating his 48th birthday, but he still looks 28. Sascha Gerstner. Thanks for coming on the show. Really excited to talk to you because I think you've put out an incredible album.
Oh, thanks, man. First off, I have to say, what a great introduction.
Well, you're like I think you're 7 months older than me, but you don't. And the reason I bring that up is because I found some old photos of you from way back in the day. I found some studio photos from the Keeper Legacy when you guys were recording that, actually. And I'm like, dude, this guy, aside from facial hair, he doesn't look any different. Hair might be shorter, but you look pretty much the same.
Yes. My style was changing all throughout the years, so it's like a lot of experimentation going on. So but I always had that since my youth. So it's just naturally. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So I'm just going to start this off. I'm sure you saw me post this, but I'm going to be honest with you. The two songs that you've written on this album, and you've written quite a few pretty good songs with this band, these are the two best tracks I think you've ever written. When I heard the song Universe, I was completely blown away by that, and I had to go back and listen to that song actually quite a few times on repeat. And then the song after it, Hand of God, it's hard to describe. I could tell it was you that wrote it, but it's unlike any song the band has ever recorded. And I actually love both of those tracks. Because when I go back and listen to the discography, I heard Hand of God. I'm like, I can't quite think of a song Helloween has ever done that sounds like this. But I absolutely love both of those songs. Let's talk about those, because Universe it sounds like something that could be on Keeper 2. And have a lot of really cool parts in the middle, where Kai is singing. So let's talk about that song first. What'd you write that about? And, what was the process in creating that? Because I'll be honest with you, that's one of the songs I've hit on repeat about, 50 times when I started listening to this.
Oh, well, first off, thank you. It's great to see now that we're doing this interview run, how well people are reflecting on what you had on mind when you were writing the song, because most of the times you have a certain vibe when you do something creatively, but you don't know how people will soak that in, and if they would reflect the same feeling, and what I received so far is exactly the things you said, and it's kind of making me happy to see that it worked, because especially Universe was very tough to create, because it really took me a couple of days to connect all the parts and in a demo period, So what I typically would do if I write songs, I would play an instrument. It would be guitar or synthesizer, and I would play around and do some sound design. That's what I basically do, just for fun, and then most of the times at the same time I start singing. So for me, it's always about the vocals. So vocals are always hero for me. So I start playing around, doing some sound design, and start singing, and then something's just coming up. It could be either be phonetically nonsense. So I would just start to sing something that sounds English, but it doesn't make sense. And in that process, most of the time there comes some hook up to my mind, And with this song, it happened the same way. I was creating this super dystopian clean guitar sound, and I started singing, and I suddenly had that word universe coming in. I don't want to be too esoterical about it, but it was just being something that was coming up, and then it was evolving to what it is now. It was like I woke up the next morning, I was starting recording. I woke up the next morning and I had a pretty good verse. And then I thought okay, I have to continue. I was like really into it so much to finish the song. I had a feeling it's something that's gonna be big, and I knew it will be probably a pretty long song because things started to develop on my mind while I was doing parts. It was like, okay, and there will be, I want to do this part, and I want to go into another in a breakdown, and so it was really a journey for me, and doing a song like this was just like giving birth to an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and also like lyrical wise. I think what happens now with me in this day and age is that I kind of mature up with my writing. Like it was always fun for me to write songs, and like you said, I'm like 22 or 23 years in a band, and when I joined the band, I was 25 years old, so pretty young by that time. But I was already accepted, and they already wanted to have my song ideas, and it was fun to do that. But I was like very naive by that time. Like I didn't think too much about it, and I also didn't know when it came to lyrics and subjects. On the first record we did together, I had a lot of help from Andy, who's a great songwriter. What he does is impressive, also over such a career span, lifespan that he has, delivering always high quality songs. And that was really inspiring for me. But I had the appreciation already, but I don't think my songs were as mature as they are now, That's at least how it feels for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you've written some really great tracks. People will still bring up a song like "Listen to the Flies" and some of your other stuff that you wrote early on. I see it in social media comments. I just see people's comments in general, and I think for me, I just like when the two people on this album that really surprised me were you and Kai. Because Kai kind of, if you go and listen to a lot of the Gamma Ray albums, Kai has a pretty distinct songwriting style that's changed. That had changed a little bit since he was out of Helloween, and it just, you guys, both of you, I think the songs you wrote took turns I was not expecting.
Hey everybody, Tony here from the Metal Command podcast. Again, I appreciate your support. Since 1998, I have hosted this show in one form or another, starting off in radio and now in the podcast format. Again, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see and hear on this show, by all means, please hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified anytime I do post a video, and if you see this program on any other form of social media, please give me a follow there. Again, I always appreciate your support.